Abducted Kuriga school children released. 4 killed in Bauchi arms-giving stampede. A mother narrates ordeal of losing 4 in the Nigerian military. On the foreign scene, rescuers race to find trapped people as Brazil storms kill at least 20. Hello there, and many thanks for joining us on the news update at this hour. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Now the news in full. Hours after the announcement of the release of the Kuriga school children by the Kaduna state government and the defense headquarters, parents are now eager to be reunited with their children. One of the parents among the Kuriga community leader who was at the government house says he wants to see his daughter to confirm her release from captivity. Our Trust TV's Bello Musa has more on the story.
Journalists waited for hours at the government house expecting more update from the state government on the release of the Kuriga school children. The parents also waited for hours hoping to see their children. However, as of the time we left the government house, minutes after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the children had not been brought to the government house. Jibrin Gwarebi Kuriga is one of the parents of Kuriga school children.
I've not seen anything about her. I'm just praying maybe by tomorrow I will see her. They said all the children are back. That's what they said. All of them are back. But seeing is believing.
According to him, life has not been easy thinking about the living conditions of his daughter at the hands of the bandits.
Let me tell you, sometimes 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the night, I will wake up. Believe me, I will just be crying because thinking, how is she? How is she? What has she eaten? You see, I think of that because I know if say she's at home, normally before she goes to school in the morning, she eats, and then she comes back again for breakfast, and then when they close 2 o'clock, she before she goes for Islamia, she takes something. I'm in fact always playing with her in the house, but with her absence now, in fact, I've been feeling very bad.
Besides journalists, security agencies, the chairman of Chikun local government, traditional and community leaders, and UNICEF officials all waited for hours at the government house. Just weeks ago, bandits stormed 2 schools in Kuriga village of Chikun local government area, kidnapping over 280 school children, forcing the community into a state of grief and sorrow. The military has confirmed the release of the school children in Zamfara State. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Bello Musa there from the Kaduna State Government House. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has praised the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, and other security agencies for the safe release of the Kuriga school children in Kaduna State. The incident, where about 287 children were kidnapped on March 6, sparked outrage and condemnation from various quarters, including UNICEF. 2 weeks after the abduction, the children were rescued in Zamfara State through joint efforts of the military and local authorities. Well, shortly after the rescue, President Tinubu commended the efforts of security agencies, emphasizing the importance of collaboration between the federal government and states, especially regarding security matters. The president also welcomed the release of pupils from a Tangaya school in Sokoto State and assured Nigerians that his administration is implementing detailed strategies to ensure schools remain safe sanctuaries of learning. Meantime, bandits unleashed a deadly attack on worshippers observing Ramadan prayers in Merua village, Faskari local government area of Katsina State on Saturday night, resulting in the tragic death of at least 2 individuals and leaving others wounded. Among the deceased was a prominent figure known as Alhaji Lado, suspected to be the prime target of the assailants. The victim, described as a businessman, politician, and large-scale farmer, was killed when he resisted the orders of the attackers. According to an eyewitness, the attackers also kidnapped Alhaji Lado's wife and 2 daughters during the assault. Another victim of the attack, identified as a health worker named Sani, also unfortunately lost his life. Katsina has been heavily affected by by banditry, despite numerous efforts to curb the criminal activities proving ineffective. Of living in Nigeria, as the Ramadan fast continues to gain momentum, the economic hardship in the country is further biting harder on households who are unable to afford basic food items. Well, in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, prices of food items and fruits which are essential for meals during the fast have continued to soar to the dissatisfaction of both buyers and sellers. Hami Sumatazo has a situation report.
With the alarming cost of yam, Irish potato and fruits in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, residents are forced to consider other alternatives to break their fast in this Ramadan period. While sellers mostly complain of hard times due to a significant drop in their daily sales, buyers decry high prices that exceeded their purchasing power and worsened their economic situations. Trust TV went round Maiduguri to see how residents are having hard times buying the tubers and fruits to break their fasting. We met Madu, a potato buyer at Ennono Market, and he complained bitterly about the hike in price.
A measure of potatoes I bought 2,000 naira days back now costs 3,500, and the quantity won't be enough to feed me and my little ones. So I was forced to buy rice and cook to break the fast, but it wasn't as satisfying as Irish potatoes.
Malama Aisha, who patronizes the post office area to buy yam, complained that the hike in price had affected everything despite continued appeal on traders to reduce prices during Ramadan period.
I'm appealing to the government to intervene to see how it would make the traders reduce the price to cushion the effect of the economic hardship. We also pray for Allah's mercy.
Muhammad Samail Lamoa, who was at Monday Market to buy watermelon, said the price was too exorbitant for a poor man to buy.
Many don't have the purchasing power to buy watermelon. A moderate-sized melon now costs between 2,000 to 2,500. Just a week before Ramadan, that size of melon cost only 1,000 and at most 1,200.
Abba Samaila, a yam and potato seller at Ennono Market, explained why the prices of tubers are getting higher.
The wholesale price is becoming too high and it keeps increasing daily due to the high cost of transportation. Before now, we sold 6 pieces of this yam for only 6,000, but today it is 18,000 naira. I would advise the government to open farmlands and invest more in places like Chibok and Guza, where tubers can be cultivated.
Usman Babayo, another yam and potato seller at Bulunkutu Market, has this to say.
Government should return payment of subsidies to ease the situation. Transporters avoid loading goods to Maiduguri due to distance and high cost of diesel, and for those who agree to come, they charge too much.
Hamis Kabir Matazu, Trust TV News from Maiduguri.
In Jos, the capital of Plateau State, are lamenting the prohibition of trucks entering business areas in the state, citing the significant impact on their operations. They are facing challenges related to logistics, supply chain disruptions, and increased costs as a result of longer transportation routes or the need for alternative methods. Ado Musa has more on the report.
General Manager of Jos Metropolitan Development Board, Hadbankard, announced Executive Order Number 003 on March 10, 2024, which includes provisions preventing trucks from entering business areas between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. The purpose of the order is to streamline vehicular traffic through traffic management measures. The order came into effect on March 19. However, business owners in Jos and its environs have reported that the order has had a negative impact on their businesses.
The government is supposed to have a big garage that will contain all these big trucks. When they come, they will be there until the time of to offload. They will come from there to our premises of where we are making the business. Because if they are in the street parking, if there is any problem, even the truck is not safe, our goods is not safe.
Like
I can say when they are in the bush, like in Nasarawa State, we used to bring our goods from Nasarawa State, and at times now, about 4 days ago now, our load about 5 to 20 loads are there in Nasarawa State. We don't get big trucks to carry it for us because they are complaining that when they come here, they stop them from entering the town, so they cannot carry it. They used to carry the one of Bauchi and of Gombe. So
the drivers that are bringing goods from different parts of the country are apprehensive about this law prohibiting entrance and exiting from the town. So that apprehensiveness or that apprehension is a problem in itself because it is hard for us to get vehicles to bring our goods, to convey our goods to the market. So that's one of the major problems we are having.
The business owners acknowledge that while the restriction is a welcome idea, they find the planning and timing of entrance too strict. They are calling on the state government to adjust the order to better accommodate their operational needs.
So we are not against what the government wants to do, but we want to they will do it the way that we the business people will be protected. That is our own issue. So they will do it in the favorable of everybody. So that is what we are pleading for.
There should be proper orientation. There should be proper orientation. The traders and the drivers should be involved in planning or how this thing is going to help the government on one side and also help the drivers on one side.
The business owners, however, are urging the state government to reconsider the new order and make adjustments by involving all stakeholders to arrive at a logical conclusion. They emphasize the importance of collaboration and dialogue to address concerns and find mutually beneficial solutions. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And 4 persons tragically lost their lives in a stampede during an alms-giving zakat exercise for the poor in Bauchi State. The incident occurred at the Shafa Holdings Company PLC headquarters along Jos Road on Sunday morning. Additionally, a 17-year-old individual, Naima Abdullahi, is currently receiving medical treatment at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital in Bauchi. The police public relations officer, Ahmed Wakili, confirmed the incident and assured the public that the situation is stable. Police swiftly responded to the situation and the police commissioner urged the public to remain calm upon visiting the scene. The crowd has been dispersed and police vehicles were stationed in the area. However, some women were still waiting outside in anticipation of further disbursement as at the time this report was filed. As of now, the company has not issued any official statement regarding the incident. The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, has rescued a 6-month-old baby sold for 600,000 naira. The child was recovered from an orphanage in Imo State during an operation last week following a tip-off by an informant. The mother, Emediong Asukwo, a teenager from Etinan local government area of Akwa Ibom State, cited economic difficulties as the reason for selling her child. She explained that she and her boyfriend couldn't afford to care for the baby and decided to give the child to anyone willing to care for it until she could support herself and the baby. However, her friend and mastermind behind the sale, Stella Asukwo, arranged for the child to be sold in Abia State without Emediong's consent. Stella claimed she was moved by Emediong's complaint about lack of food and her husband's hostile nature. The baby was eventually taken to an orphanage in Imo State where NAPTIP rescued the child. NAPTIP confirmed the rescue operation, identifying poverty as a major cause of human trafficking. Investigations are ongoing and NAPTIP is committed to combating trafficking and providing support to victims, calling on the state government and other stakeholders to assist in feeding, training and empowering victims of human trafficking. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Still to come. Distraught mother of slain Nigerian colonel in Delta ambush speaks to Trust TV. This and of course many other stories after the break. Join us again.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Thanks for staying with the news update on Trust TV. Now a recap of our top stories again. Abducted Kuriga school children released. 4 killed in Bauchi arms-giving stampede. And to other stories now, the families of late Lieutenant Colonel A.H. Ali, the commanding officer, 181 Amphibious Battalion, who was murdered alongside 2 majors, 1 captain and 12 soldiers in Okwama, Uheli South local government area of Delta State on Thursday, have narrated their ordeals following the gruesome killings. The deceased officers and soldiers were mowed down by some hoodlums who were of the 181 Amphibious Battalion in Bomadi local government area of Delta State. Salim Umar Ibrahim, who was at the residence of the families, reports.
Sadness is all that can only be seen on the faces of mourners at the residence of late Lieutenant Colonel A.H. Ali, the commanding officer, 181 Amphibious Battalion, who was murdered alongside the 2 majors, 1 captain and 12 soldiers in Ukoma, Ogeli South, local government area of Delta State. Indeed, this is one of the hardest moments to speak amid sorrow and intense mourning, the demise of a breadwinner and loved one. Sitting just in the living room of her house, Hassana Hassan, the mother of the deceased, was completely lost. She didn't know what to do as she kept reminiscing moments upon moments. This is yet another tragic event in her life that marks almost an end to a series of similar events she had faced in the past. This woman can be described as one strong woman among many others within her age group. She has seen and heard it all in terms of bad news, mostly associated with death. She tried to find strength to answer greetings and casually speak a word or two, pausing at intervals. Speaking about the recent tragic death of her eldest child, she said, "Words cannot be enough to describe what she feels, but she only knew what is transpiring in her brain, mind and soul."
What can I do? I don't know what to do with my life. He came here and sat down. We greeted each other and he said, "Hassana, they couldn't allow me to come and see you until now. It's bitter. He is my son. I gave birth to him and he has not offended me for once."
The mother went back memory lane to recall how his brother, also a Nigerian army military man, was brutally killed by suspected bandits in an ambush in Katsina State some years ago in the course of work.
That one was in Katsina. They were together in a group and someone shot him.
Similarly, she went ahead to narrate how her daughter, also married to a military man, who died alongside her husband and his brother in a car accident, just at a time like this, during the fasting period some years ago.
He's also a soldier. They came at me like this and greeted us all, and they went back. On their way back, their car hit a pole. The husband and his brother died. In her attempt to rescue the husband, she also got caught up by fire, and that's how she also died.
Hassana Hassan, beside losing all these military officers, 2 sons, an in-law alongside her own daughter, said the 4th military man who was the first to leave Mother Earth was her husband, whose peaceful death occurred at home after retirement from active service. Also speaking, his wife, Hawa, who hardly takes in courage to utter a word, said, with recent experience, she could hardly agree with any of her child to join the military in the future.
I would not. The father already sacrificed his own life for Nigeria.
She, however, prayed that God continue to be with him wherever he is.
But the way my husband was killed was really shattered. I spoke to him the very day called me and told he was going for peace. Just for me to try his number, and I never got him. Nobody could call me to tell me what happened till on Saturday before I heard the news.
However, Nigerians are demanding probe into the gruesome killing of the fallen heroes, as well as compensation for their families. Salim Umar Ibrahim, reporting for Trust TV.
Well, there you have it, heartbreaking accounts there by the families of the slain soldiers. We can only pray that their souls find repose, and the families also, may God bless the families and also bless the souls of the deceased. Now, Christians, especially Catholics, the world over, this Sunday observed Palm Sunday, a day that officially marks the Passion Week, signifying the triumphant entry of Jesus Christ to Jerusalem. In Benue State, Christian faithful say the day is significant in their lives, as it showed Christ's humility and sacrifice to save mankind. Jimmy Atzande reports.
Passion Sunday, or Palm Sunday as it is popularly called, is unique in the lives of the Christian faithful. The day, unlike the other Sundays, begins with a procession, with members carrying palm fronds to signify the triumphant entry of Jesus into Jerusalem, the commencement of his trial, death, resurrection, and triumph over death.
It is a great day to all Catholic faith. And of course, once Jesus died and on the cross, he enters into Jerusalem for the purpose of wiping off our sins. It shows that we are alive with Jesus. And after this day, we are going to enter into Easter week.
It's a period for us to have a reflection into our lives, because even though we have sinned, the Lord Jesus Christ has come to take away the sins. That is why he is about to die for our sins, to bring peace into the nation and the country, and win all men back to the Lord, his Father.
To the clergy, it is a special week for Christians, especially those of the Catholic denomination, as it is reminiscent of peace and love for one another.
That's why even in our gospel narrative today, when Peter drew out his sword, struck somebody's ear, he said, put it back in its sheath. That shows Jesus came to preach peace. We should dialogue we should have a round table discussion towards peace. I should be sincere about peace. Peace is prized above every other thing. So Jesus came to give himself. He said that I came that they may have life and have it to the full. And we should be able to deny ourselves and some of those things that deprive us of peace, such as bribery, insincerity, and ethnicity. These are making us to become people who are divided.
The week-long activity will end on Easter Sunday, a day that marks the resurrection of Jesus Christ from death. It is a season for the administration of sacraments, as well as a solemn occasion for fasting and praying, for the forgiveness of sins, an expression of agape love for one another. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
And away from Nigeria, rescuers in Brazil's mountainous southeast are racing against time to assist isolated individuals after storms and heavy rains claimed at least 20 lives. With more rain expected, the deluge has caused chaos in Rio de Janeiro and Espírito Santo states, with flooding leading to fatalities. Mimoso do Sul in Espírito Santo is the worst hit area, with fears of the death toll rising further. Governor Bernardo Casagrande described the situation as chaotic, with damage assessments still pending in some isolated regions. In neighboring Rio de Janeiro, landslides have resulted in at least 8 deaths, including a tragic incident in Petropolis where a father heroically shielded his daughter from harm. Experts link the recent extreme weather events in Brazil to climate change. And in sports, Kano Pillars, former champions of the Nigeria Premier Football League, returned to winning form with a narrow victory on match day 27. Despite facing a tough challenge from Sporting Lagos at the Sani Abacha Stadium, Pillars secured a 1-0 win thanks to Mustafa Umar's lone strike. The match remained scoreless in the first half, but Pillars defenders held firm against Lagos-based side effort to secure maximum points. And that wraps up the news update on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across all of our social platforms and also catch our live stream on YouTube for more news, programs and documentaries. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Thanks for watching.